This is a little experiment related to the Yu Jin-jiong paper about repulsive force tangentially on capacitor plates. So there's the attractive force between two capacitor plates. If you had a parallel plate cap, there's that attractive force of the opposing charges wanting to pull together. But then at the same time, there's a repulsive force between the charges themselves upon one individual plate. So all those charges are in repulsion. And according to that paper, the repulsive force is many, many, many times greater than the attractive force. But in terms of energy supplied to the cap, all we have to supply is the attractive force, and that repulsive force is kind of there for free if you can figure out a way to harvest it. So there's a bit of a synchronicity with that bank schematic that Merlit and Kurt posted recently, where there's a catcher with a aluminium plate inside it, and I'm wondering if those two things have something in common. So this is just a very fundamental experiment to show some stuff related to that. So there's a Tesla coil here, you can see it under there, with another coil wrapped over the top. This is all just crap that I had laying around. It's not, I haven't made anything specifically for this. It's just a very fundamental demonstration or test. And then inside that there's an LE tube, aluminium tube. I've got a little high voltage module, and I'm charging the capacitance that exists between this aluminium tube and the Tesla secondary, which is about 80 picofarads. And then there's a gas discharge tube as a spark gap there, which is, I think it's a 600 volt one. So that 70 or 80 picofarad cap is getting charged up, and then the cap is the GDT is shorting it out. And then on this speaker wire, just on one strand of that, I've got the scope hooked up, and there was a resistor on there which has fallen off, but that doesn't matter anyway. So yeah, I'll just fire it up. So there's not enough wattage to register in the meter there, which isn't important. But anyway, here's the wave that's induced on that secondary wire, on the pickup winding, and the speaker wire there. So each time the gap fires, you can see that there's a wave induced, even though we're not that's purely coming from the discharge of the cap. So all of those charges that build up on the Tesla secondary and the aluminium plate, as that capacitance is charging, we're not getting any induction into here. But during that abrupt discharge, all those charges are all flowing in the same direction and inducing a voltage into this winding here. And you can do the same thing, like I just did this a minute ago, but I didn't film it. Did basically the same experiment with these two bits of aluminium. Sorry, it's a bit hard to focus with all the crap in the background. Yeah, so a tube and a rod in the middle, and then I just wound a few turns on there to see, and you get the same effect. So it's not got anything to do with the coils of the Tesla secondary being one of our capacitor plates. That's not the charges discharging, looping through that helix is not what's inducing into here. It works almost just as well with the solid rod and the alley tube. And so yeah, if you're charging them up and then discharging them across that gap, you get this big rush of charges during the discharge, which is moving along the cap, and then that induces voltage into the pickup winding.